This is Dr. Rosemary Hyde. I'm doing this program for Living Peace Now. And the topic today is some of the private universities that there are in the United States. Last time I did regional state universities, secondary universities. Every state has 4 or 5 other universities besides their, quote, flagship, their most important state university. So I, kind of went over last time what it's like to live on campus there, because my grandson is starting in September at Appalachian State, which is one of the secondary state universities in our state, North Carolina. And today I thought I would, there are many different kinds of universities in North America, and the ones I'm most familiar with, of course, are in the United States. There are similar types available in Canada, so let's say North America. And there are, among the private universities, there is a whole network of universities that are run by different religious orders, Catholic religious orders. There's a few Protestant universities, but many fewer. And so, this whole category of Catholic universities is a definite choice that you can make if you want to attend a university in North America. They do offer religious studies. They are, at this point, generally quite open and welcoming to people from any religion. When I went to Catholic universities many years ago, they were about being Catholic, but that has changed. And they're good academically in general. They're not the universities that the richest and most powerful people go to, by and large. But some of them have, a bunch of distinguished, famous alumni, people who graduated from them. And they're an interesting choice if you attend to major in one of their specialties. So I'm going to share my screen. The one I brought up earlier is Georgetown. So I'm just going to go over Georgetown, which is a Catholic university, a Jesuit university in the nation's capital, in Washington, DC. And then since Kaziazan, who is attending Notre Dame University in Bangladesh, I'll show what there is to say about Notre Dame University, the same, the home, the mother house or the father house of Notre Dame University, which is in the state of Indiana, a northern state right next to Canada and in the middle from east to west, a Midwestern state. So let me share my screen. There will be time at the end for us to discuss. What's on the screen is Georgetown University, which I said is in Washington, DC, in the national capital of the United States. It's a well-known, it's a well-respected, it's an old American university. I don't know exactly when it was founded, but it's been around for a couple of 100 years. And it's like all private universities, it's expensive. So you will most likely need to get financial aid. So if you look here, the average cost is $32,000, which I think is per year, which would be about right for a private university. So people pay for attending private universities or even state universities in the US by putting together a combination of you save money, and when in our family, when a child has been born, we have started a family savings account into which everybody in the family puts money so that that child will have a, a cushion of money to pay for college, because that's the pathway into the professional and middle class is you have to have a university degree. So we plan for that right from the beginning. And my grandson, as I've told you, is going to a state university, which is cheaper. And so the cost of the state university is $25,000 a year. And we actually saved up enough for him so that he does not have to take out any loans. But people take out loans, they work, he is working now. Any way to earn money or to save money or to obtain money to pay for this huge expense for getting into the middle class. In this, unless you're really a genius in this country, if you don't get a university degree, you will end up working at a physical rather than a mental job, and your earning power will be much lower than if you go to university. So it's kind of, families that are in the middle class make sure that their kids are able to get into the middle class too. Not that all do, but many do. The acceptance rate, if you notice, is pretty low. Of all the people who apply to Georgetown University, only 17% are accepted. Once you're in, they really support you, which is one of the good things about private universities in general, is that they really work hard to get their students through everything to graduation. So it's a very high graduation rate. It's a low acceptance rate. It's expensive. People who've gone to Georgetown, who are famous, this isn't all the famous alums, but I don't know who Bradley Cooper is. Does somebody? They obviously think he's famous. And I don't know what he's famous for.
Professor.
Yes.
You are telling about the Georgetown University. I think that Georgetown University is one of the most famous universities in Washington, D.C. in America.
Absolutely.
But yeah, obviously. But therefore, yeah. Is there any campus? Yeah.
Ivanka Trump graduated from there. So yeah, it's got a good reputation. And
obviously.
A justice of the Supreme Court, Antonin Scalia, and Carl Reiner, who was a famous TV program director.
Yeah, obviously. If I got a chance in future, obviously I will try myself to get a scholarship in the university, because you are telling about the university is quite so better, and I am knowing the university about it is much better than other universities in other private universities in USA. So I think that it will be
It's
better
one of the
for me.
best.
One of the best, yes, obviously. And
Yes.
you know that it is in our Bangladesh, there are some kinds of private universities which is quite so important, quite so best, and they are gathering much research institution, some diploma degree or research, but most of the students nowadays are likely to be doing the engineering degree or BBA or economics or sociology or English. Though I am a
Right.
student of English, yeah, though I am a
Yes.
student of English, I am a student of English, and I am studying in the basic zone of in Notre Dame University. And Notre Dame University, there are father, sister, brothers, and they show the respect of me that I am learning in English or graduating in English. So
Right.
graduating in English, it is quite important because I'm learning literature, I'm learning language beside my own language, Bangla. So I think that it is quite important for me to study Notre Dame University and gather some knowledge in there.
Right. Yes. And Georgetown is well known for medicine. It's well known for English and humanities and literature and languages and psychology. So, you know, those are the ones that the areas that I know about Georgetown in. And of course, since it's in the nation's capital, a lot of people who are connected with government get degrees from Georgetown.
Professor, I think that I should wish best of luck to Ivanka Trump because she has graduated from the one of the best universities in Washington DC. And you know that Donald Trump has also graduated from economics in I don't know the university name. I'm not recollecting the name right now, but I think that Ivanka Trump has done a very well job, and she has done a very good job to attending in the very good universities of Washington DC.
Right, right. Okay, so now I'm going to look up Notre Dame. St. Joseph County, Indiana. University of Notre Dame. Ah, Notre Dame du Lac. I didn't know that it had.
Professor, you can see our university's logo. If you want to see, then I can tell you. Notre Dame University, Bangladesh.
Okay. Okay, so let me talk about Notre Dame University in Indiana, and then I'll look up Notre Dame University in
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. Thank you. Okay, so the expenses, yeah, it's a little bit cheaper than Georgetown, not much. Graduation rate is, wow, 97%. And the acceptance rate is about 19%. So it's ranked similar to Georgetown. And it's a private university, and it's run by the Holy Cross brothers and priests, and they're Catholic. It's, let's see what it's a prestigious university. It's a beautiful university. It's a famous university. They've done many wonderful research projects. It's like most of the really good universities. It has a good medical school. It is good in accounting, and it has a good theater department. So to some extent, especially for advanced degrees, for a master's degree or a doctorate, part of what determines where people want to go to school. Part of it is, where can I spend the least money? For a lot of people, that's a really important aspect of it. Also, where will I get the best education in the field I want? And every accredited university will give a good education in every field they offer, because there are agencies that accredit them, that rate them, that inspect them, that, you know, so as it's accredited, you can know that you will get a good education. But, you know, it's also about who are the contacts that you'll make while you're a student. Who are the people you will get to know as a student at different universities? And that's a really important aspect. If you want to be, you know, at the top echelons, at the top levels of a profession, it's a lot easier to get there if you have gotten to know people who are famous or who are prominent in the profession. So that's one of the reasons why people choose to go to an expensive private university. Also, the expensive private universities give much better financial aid packages, because otherwise they would be cutting out a huge percentage of the American population that doesn't have a huge amount of money. So you would only get, you know, people from the professional classes. You wouldn't get ordinary people. You wouldn't even get school teachers who don't make a lot of money because they can't afford to go. But because they offer good financial aid, people often receive enough money in scholarships so they can afford to go to a specific expensive private university. And part of that is when you really, really, really want to go to a specific university, you make that clear and you make the reason for it clear in your application. You know, you really make a good case for them wanting you to come there. There's a whole application process that you know, is demanding and lengthy, but it works. So there's politics in that, your personal politics. Okay, another rather well-known private university is one that's a mile away from our house. It is Protestant in its background, but it's not really religious anymore. It's called Duke University, and it was founded by Methodists and Quakers, who are both Christian denominations. But like I say, it's no longer religious at all. And it's a well-known private, expensive university. It's really good for medicine. It's really good for nursing. Those are the area, and it's actually good for religious studies. And it's a beautiful campus. You know, so that's another example of a private, below the top level of private universities in the United States are called Ivy League. Duke is an Ivy League, yeah. Uh, That means that the buildings are all covered with ivy because they've been here so long. And ivy has grown up on them. But an Ivy League school means private university, top tier, really well known. So let's see. The top rated schools are Yale, which is in Connecticut, Cornell in New York, Brown in Rhode Island, Dartmouth in New Hampshire. All those states are in the northeastern corner of the US. So let's see if I can get a bigger representation. Okay, Harvard is, yeah, usually somewhere near the top of that list of Ivy Leagues. Columbia in New York City, Princeton in New Jersey, University of Pennsylvania in Pennsylvania, Yale in Connecticut, Cornell in New York, Brown in Rhode Island, and Dartmouth in New Hampshire. I would add to that schools elsewhere. I'd add Stanford, which is in California, for sure, and which is also a private, expensive university. Okay, so yeah, Washington University in St. Louis, Rice University in Houston, Texas, Vanderbilt University, which is it's in the Northeast. Duke is in Durham, North Carolina. Northwestern is in Illinois, just north of Chicago. Johns Hopkins, which is a great medical school, is in Maryland, down mid-Atlantic coast. California Institute of Technology, which needless to say is in California. University of Chicago, which is in Chicago. Stanford, yes, in California, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So, we've named most of the really top famous universities in the United States, private universities. And, those are ones that you can look up any one of them and you'll see that the expense and the acceptance level and the percentage to graduating are very similar to Georgetown and Notre Dame. So, those are the famous universities in the United States that are not state run, but are private. And each university, when you get into it, has its own history and its own spirit and its own traditions and its own motto and logo and mascot. There's a lot of traditional organizational things to learn to become a part of the alumni, which are the graduates of that university. And as you can see, they typically have big, impressive campuses.
Professor, now the Notre Dame University, Bangladesh?
Yeah, yes. you get the idea, right?
Yeah.
They all look alike, don't they? Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, it's quite fascinating. It's quite fascinating.
Yes. I have two nephews who went to MIT. So anyway,
Professor, is MIT is a private university?
might be what?
Is MIT is a private university?
Yes, it is. It's not religious, but it is private.
Oh,
It's really expensive to go to. But, with the financial aid and the family really digging in and saving up money, you can do it, no matter who you are. Okay, so Notre Dame.
Professor, it is the college. I think that
Yeah.
the Notre University.
So is it in, what city is it in?
In Dhaka.
In Dhaka?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you've got 7,000 students. It has been there since November of 1949. It's affiliated with the National University in Bangladesh. So what is the National University?
Professor, the National University is affiliated with Notre Dame College, not the Notre Dame University. Notre Dame University is affiliated with the University of Notre Dame in Indiana.
Okay.
You can see the pictures of it. You can see the pictures.
Yes. Are these the pictures that? Does that look familiar?
You can go to the images of Notre Dame. Yeah. It's familiar. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the Father Harrington building. This is the Father Harrington building.
Okay.
Then the Father Pisotto building. This is the, yeah.
Oh, so you've got double-decker buses in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we don't have those here. But I know they do in London.
Yeah, obviously. This is the professor. This is the Father Pisotto building.
Okay, so they're all named after priests, all the buildings.
Yeah.
Campuses are generally quite pretty.
Yeah, obviously. The whole campus is quite beautiful.
Well, so I'm seeing.
Professor, this is the mural. This is the mural.
Okay. Wow, those trees, those plants. Oh, they're huge.
Yeah.
I mean, these are plants that we have sometimes in our houses, but they're much smaller than that. Wow. I had no idea they grew that big.
Yeah. And see the classroom.
Yes. Look familiar?
Yeah, obviously. It's look quite familiar. It's too much familiar to me.
So what's
This is
this?
the lift, professor. This is the lift. This is the lift.
It's where you live?
No. Go to the previous picture. Go to the previous picture.
Yeah.
No. The other previous picture.
This one
The
here.
other previous. The next yeah, the next previous picture. Yeah, the next. Yeah. See, you are seeing in here. If you zoom it, then you can see a lift in here. There is a lift.
Okay.
The Mother Mary, the picture of Mother Mary.
Right. Yes. Who, and of course, Notre Dame is Mother Mary, Our Lady in French.
Yeah.
So this is a classroom building.
Yeah. Obviously. Yeah.
Wow, that's a big tree. So do you guys wear uniform?
Yeah, uniform. Yes, professor. We do wear uniforms.
Yep, okay. I see that in that picture. I love the trees. Not what you look at all, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, professor. Why not? The trees are quite beautiful.
They are.
This is a father's building, professor.
Okay.
This is the road of Notre Dame. This is the road.
Okay. What's all the colorful stuff? Is that a gate?
Yes, it is the gate. Yeah. In here, in Bengali, it has been said, Obhinandan, Chol, Durjoy Praner Anande.
Uh-huh.
Professor, this is the canteen, professor. This is the canteen.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big canteen. It's a very big canteen. About 1,000 of students can
Yeah.
sit together in the canteen. 1,000 of students.
It looks huge. And this is probably a class.
Professor, this is our uniform. This is the uniform.
Yes. Wow. It is a beautiful campus. Where do the buses go?
Yes, professor.
Where do you go on the bus?
Yeah, professor. It is quite near to my home.
Near to your what?
Near to my home, my residence. This is a computer lab, professor. This is a computer lab.
Right. Yep. And this is the library. And this is going to be an event. right? Is it graduation?
Yeah, professor, you can say that. This is the playground of our university. This is the playground.
Interesting. Wow. There are a lot of pictures. Okay, so these are the first women that I've seen.
Professor, in the middle is father, our father Pishoto, not Pishoto, it is Father Shankar.
Okay. So is there also a women's division of the college, a women's section?
No, there is no women's section. There is only men's section, only the male, not the female. But
Okay.
there are teachers, they are the teachers.
Well, those are females in the picture, so I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the campus of Notre Dame University in Bangladesh. And
Now,
many
professor, this is the Northern College.
The what?
And university, Notre Dame College in 11, 12 class. If you want to see the university, go to the link of university link. I will see the university, the Notre Dame University, Bangladesh.
Okay, I don't want to spend a lot of time
Okay.
on any one university.
Okay. You can proceed. Okay, you can proceed.
Thank you.
Okay.
So there are in different areas, in different countries, different continents, there are campuses of American universities. So if you are near one, look up the university and find out about it, as we just did.
Yeah,
So,
obviously.
So that's one of the choices that you can make if you want to go to university in the United States, is to go to a private university, which will either be religious or not. They're not all religious. And they all have their own story, their own history, and their own idealism. So next week, I'll talk about the major state universities, which are also a choice. There's so many choices. It's quite amazing. So thank you for listening and watching. And